If you own the home you live in and the VA has any service-connected disability on your record, there is money sitting on the housing side of that agency that was set aside for the house itself. The ceiling this year is $126,000. It is a grant rather than a loan, so no payment book shows up, no interest builds, and no lien lands on your property afterward. Thousands of veterans qualify for one version of this every year and never file the single form it takes to ask. I know what a number that size does to a man sitting on his couch. It sounds like it was written for somebody in far worse shape than you are, and a good portion of you have already counted yourselves out. Hold that reflex for a few minutes instead of acting on it, because the piece of this program built for ordinary bad knees and ordinary bad lungs is the piece almost nobody explains. Here is the honest shape of it before anyone accuses me of waving a big number around. There is no single enormous check with your name printed on it. 4 separate housing grants live under this heading, each written for a different level of need, and the largest one at the top carries hard medical conditions attached by Congress. Most veterans who get help here land much lower on that ladder. The lowest rung has almost nothing standing in front of it, and that rung is what I want you carrying out of this video. So here is the ground we cover, the 2 large grants and exactly who they were written for, the temporary version for a veteran living in a son or daughter's house, then the quiet one that runs through your VA hospital instead of the housing office, and the rule that lets you come back to this money 6 separate times across your life. That last rule changes what the whole program is worth, so stay with it. I am Ray Coleman, and I spend my days pulling apart the VA's own rule book and laying it out in plain words, because the people it was written for are the ones who almost never get it explained to them. There is no law degree behind this and no job at the VA. What you are getting from me is their rule book, read slowly and handed back in plain English. The program at the top is called Specially Adapted Housing, and it comes out of Chapter 21 of Title 38. For fiscal year 2026, the VA is authorized to put up to $126,500 into a home for a veteran who meets the medical conditions. That money can build a house from the ground up, help buy one that already works, or tear out the parts of the house you own right now that fight you every single morning. Think about what that actually buys: a bathroom you can roll into instead of a tub you have to climb over, a ramp poured at the front of the house so the 4 steps that turned into a mountain stop deciding whether you go outside today. The VA is not handing you cash to spend as you please. The agency is paying for the house to stop working against your body. Now the conditions, because this is where honesty matters more than a headline. Specially Adapted Housing was written for severe service-connected disability. The loss, or the loss of use, of more than one limb puts you inside it. Blindness in both eyes with vision of 20/200 or worse puts you inside it. Certain severe burns qualify, and so does the loss of use of one lower extremity, along with residuals that leave a veteran unable to get around without crutches, a cane, braces, or a wheelchair. Read that phrase again, because 4 words in there do more work than everything else on the page. Loss of use. That does not say amputation. A leg that is still attached to your body but no longer does the job of a leg can be treated under the VA's own rules, the same as a leg that is gone. The test is function rather than appearance. A veteran with 2 knees that surgery has run out of answers for, who cannot cross his own kitchen without holding on to something, is closer to this door than he believes he is. There is one more path into that top grant that surprises people, and it belongs to veterans living with ALS. When the VA service connects that disease, the loss of use it causes is recognized for housing purposes, and families are often deep into the hardest year of their lives before anyone mentions a grant existed to change the house around them. The second grant sits one step down, and it is called Special Home Adaptation. For this fiscal year that one runs up to $25,300, it was written for the loss or loss of use of both hands, for certain severe burns, and for certain service-connected respiratory injuries. That last one gets overlooked constantly. A veteran whose lungs were damaged in service and who now cannot manage the air in his own house may be looking at a grant he has never heard of. Here's the question I hear at this point, and it is a fair one. If this money has been sitting in the rule book for decades, why did nobody at the VA ever bring it up? There is no letter coming to explain this, and there never was going to be one. Housing grants live in a different part of the agency than the office that rates your knee. The rating people are not looking at your front steps, and the housing people do not know your front steps exist until you tell them. Nothing here is hidden. It simply waits, perfectly content to go unclaimed forever. Now, for the veteran who does not own a house at all, because a lot of you are in exactly that spot, maybe the house sold years ago, plenty of you moved in with a daughter after the second surgery, and the bathroom in her house is the same bathroom it has always been. The VA built a version of this for you and calls it temporary residence adaptation. For a veteran who would qualify for the big grant, the ceiling on the temporary one is roughly $51,000. On the second grant, it runs to about $9,000. The work goes into a family member's home while you are living there, and what you spend on it is accounted for against your overall entitlement. I want to slow down on that one for a second because of who it reaches. A man in his 70s living in the back bedroom of his son's house who has stopped mentioning that he cannot manage the stairs because he does not want to be a burden in a home he does not own is precisely the veteran that grant was written for. He assumes the money follows the deed. It follows him. Then comes the door that changes this from a program for a small group into a program for a very large one. It runs through the medical side of the VA rather than the housing side, which is exactly why it stays invisible, and it is called a HISA grant. The letters stand for Home Improvements and Structural Alterations, and it lives at 38 CFR 17.3100. The numbers here are smaller, and the door is enormously wider. If your disability is service-connected, the lifetime benefit is up to $6,800. That same figure applies if you carry a service-connected rating of 50% or more, even when the improvement itself is for a condition that never got service-connected. For everybody else with a VA-recognized disability, it is up to $2,000. Look at what is missing from that paragraph. Nobody asked whether you lost a limb, and blindness and burns never come into it. What HISA asks is whether a VA physician will write that the change to your home is medically necessary. Grab bars in the shower qualify. Widening a doorway qualifies. A roll-in shower, a permanent ramp at the entrance, plumbing moved so a man with a bad back can wash without going down 3 steps, electrical work so a machine that keeps you breathing at night has power where the bed actually is. All of it sits inside that grant. So the veteran at 30% for his back and his knees, who has decided all of this belongs to somebody else, has been standing in front of an open door the whole time. The grant that could pay for his shower has no severity test on it at all. It has a prescription and a form. Run the arithmetic on what that smaller number really covers because $6,800 sounds modest until you price the actual work. A walk-in tub converted to a roll-in shower with a seat and a handheld head runs a few $1,000s in most parts of the country. Grab bars anchored into studs and a raised toilet come in under $1,000. A permanent ramp with a proper slope at the front of a house, poured and railed, lands somewhere in the middle. That grant is not a rounding error. For a lot of veterans, it covers the entire change that was standing between them and their own bathroom. There is also a detail on that HISA money worth holding on to. It sits in the medical side of the agency, so using it does not spend down the housing entitlement we talked about earlier. A veteran can have a HISA project done through his VA medical center this year and still apply for specially adapted housing later if his condition takes him there. 2 different offices, 2 different pots of money, and the paperwork for one has nothing to do with the paperwork for the other. That is the shape of the ladder, and now the rule that multiplies it. You are able to use these grants up to 6 different times over the course of your life, so long as you stay under the total dollar amount you are entitled to. This matters more than it sounds. A body does not fail on a schedule. The ramp you need at 68 is not the bathroom you need at 74, and the bathroom is not the widened hallway you need at 81. A veteran who used part of this money 15 years ago and assumes the window closed behind him may still have entitlement sitting there with his name on it. One warning goes with that, and it is the mistake I would least like you to make. Get the approval before the work starts. A veteran who tears out his own bathroom in March and files the paperwork in June has usually spent his own money for good, because these programs are built to pay for adaptations that were authorized ahead of time rather than to reimburse a project that is already finished. So even if the contractor is standing in your kitchen with a quote in his hand, the form goes in first. After years of pulling this rule book apart, the pattern I keep running into is not that veterans get denied. It is that they never file, because nobody ever laid the doors out on one page. That is the whole reason I put together the Unclaimed Money Playbook for veterans. It walks through the benefits that sit outside your rating and go unclaimed year after year, the housing grants included, with the form numbers written next to each one, and a free family guide for the person who handles your paperwork when you would rather not. The link is down in the comments and on my channel page. Nothing here needs a book to act on, and a free accredited officer will do every bit of it with you at no cost. The book simply puts the doors in one place. Now, the two objections I can already hear because they stop people cold. The first one is about ownership. Veterans tell me they will not touch this because they do not want the government holding a piece of their house. The grant places no lien on your property. There is no repayment and there is no interest because it is not borrowed money. The one requirement is that you own the home the work goes into, or that you will own it. And the VA needs to see that the property can actually carry the adaptation. Renting raises the same worry from the other direction, and it comes up constantly with veterans in an apartment or a rented duplex. You are not automatically shut out. The medical side of this can still put safety work into a place you do not own when the owner signs off on it in writing, and the temporary version of the housing grant was written for exactly the situation where a veteran lives under somebody else's roof. What kills those cases is silence rather than the lease. A landlord who is asked properly in writing and who ends up with a safer unit at the end of it says yes far more often than veterans expect. The second objection is the money itself. $126,000 sounds like the sort of number that gets clawed back later or taxed at the end of the year. Grant funds paid toward adapting your home are not income to you. Nobody mails you a check to deposit. The VA pays for the work, and the work stays in your house. Here is the honest limit on all of it, and you deserve to hear it stated plainly rather than buried. Specially adapted housing has real medical gates, and most veterans watching this will not clear them. The version with one lower extremity affected for service after September 11th of 2001 is capped by law at a small number of veterans each year. So do not build your month around the big grant. Build it around the smaller one, where the qualifying line is a doctor's note rather than a lost limb, and treat the top of the ladder as something to check rather than something to count on. So what do you actually do this week? For the two large grants and the temporary version, the application is VA Form 26-4555. You can file it online through va.gov under Housing Assistance, and once it goes in, the VA assigns an agent whose entire job is walking a veteran through the process. That agent costs you nothing. For the HISA grant, you are not going through the housing office at all. You want the prosthetic and sensory aid service at your VA medical center, and the paperwork is VA Form 10-0103. The piece that decides it is a prescription from a VA provider saying the change to your home is medically necessary, so the conversation starts at your next appointment rather than on a website. Bring a photograph of the bathroom or the entrance you are talking about. It sounds small and it moves things along. And whatever you do, never pay anyone a percentage of a benefit to file for you. A free accredited officer at the VFW, the DAV, or your county veterans office handles all of this at no charge, and they do it every week. One last thought before we finish. There is a particular kind of quiet that settles over a man who has started planning his day around his own front steps. He stops going out for the small things and waits instead for someone to come by. 6 months of that turns into a habit, and the habit turns into a life. The money we just walked through exists because Congress decided a house should not be the thing that shrinks a veteran's world. It has been sitting in the rule book this whole time, waiting on one form and one doctor's note. So pick the room in your house that fights you the hardest and say it out loud at your next VA appointment. If this was useful, send it to someone who needs to see it. Hit subscribe and stick around. There's more coming your way. I'm Ray Coleman, and I'll see you in the next video.